everyone, welcome to the final Autumn 2025 update from GavsWeatherVids. So here we go, everyone. We got one last set of data, one last set of analogues, or two last sets of analogues to bring you for our 9th and final autumn update ahead, of course, of GavsWeatherVids Autumn 2025 forecast. Just 1 week today now, next Sunday on the 31st, last day of the month. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and I shall talk you through our final update in a moment. Not quite the final update, more about that in a second. But just say, if you're enjoying videos, content on the channel at the moment, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much, Richard Shaw, for our amazing autumn update skip. It's been fantastic. Thank you so much, Rich. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much to Shry and Brun as well for sorting out the years for us. Not to mention Tony Scully, the guiding hand on the shoulder. Thank you so much. Hashtag Team Gav. Did an amazing job for us as always. Thank you so much, guys. Now, next week we've got the final season one roundup for autumn 2025. That'll be next Saturday. So actually, you'll see the autumn update gift one last time, and then for the autumn forecast, we'll of course, as always, have a special gift for that. But thank you so much to the amazing Ricardo, to Shryan, and to Terry as well. Thank you so much, guys. Right, so let's do this then. One last set, or two last sets of analogues for one last update. It's proved quite a difficult update to get together due to the final week of August looking a little bit cooler, a little bit more changeable compared to what's gone before. That means we've had a bit of a challenge to get things together, and ideally we would have done like warmest and driest August, I guess, and the autumns would follow them, but that's not pretty possible this time. However, we have been able to get an update together for you. So the first set of analogues is going to be looking at the top 10 warmest summers. Whatever happens, it looks like this will be a top 10 warmest summer, with June coming in 17 degrees, July at 18.4, and August likely to be in the 17s somewhere. It's currently at 17.8 provisional to the 22nd. I reckon it will be like upper 17s most likely, and a top 10, as I say, warmest summer. We don't know exactly where in the top 10 for CT it will be, but it's likely to be there somewhere. So you know we love a countdown. So we're going to be looking at autumns following the top 10 warmest summers for the CT. And at number 10, we've got 1955 with high pressure centred out to the west of the UK and the island of Britain. We did for more of a northerly direction. So a lot of dry and quiet weather in that autumn, but a little bit on the cool side. At number 9, we've got 1959, similar in some respects to 55, given anticyclonic nature, but in a complete different position. So this time, the high pressure anticyclone is more over into the east of the country, which brings the wind up from like a southerly or southeasterly direction. Oh, that's a relatively dry autumn as well, but also a lot warmer, and a very extended summer, of course. Gets going in the spring, goes on into the autumn, September, October, does turn wetter later in the autumn. At number 8, we've got 1975, that's a wet September, otherwise higher pressure over to the east. That's in the middle of the drought years, of course. And then at number 7, we've got 1983. So this has a wet September, but you wouldn't know it from the analogue. Overall high pressure is sitting to the south and west of the country, and we bring the wind up from southerly direction. So after the wet September turns dry, it's a mild autumn as well. At number 6, we've got 2003. Again, has a warm, dry September. To the last week anyway, which turns cooler. Then the rest of the autumn, well, October's quite chilling, actually, but mostly dry. And then it turns milder, but more unsettled into November. At number 5, we've got 2022, following the long, hot summer of 2022. We get the breakdown in September, of course, of tremendous thunderstorms. And then the rest of the autumn is generally mild and wet. At number 4, We've got 2006, yes, the fourth warmest summer for CT was 2006. Autumn 2006 was very mild, low pressure in the Atlantic, high pressure through the continent, and bring the wind up from a southwesterly direction, very mild autumn there. Number 3, the third warmest summer for CT was 1995. So this has a wet September, then has a very dry and warm October, and then a wet and mild generally November. Overall, it's a warm autumn following a hot summer. Number 2, we've got 2018. Yes, 2018 was the second warmest summer for the Central England temperature. This is a mild and dry autumn with high pressure to our south and east, low pressure away to the northwest, and brim wind up that southwesterly direction. And can you guess what number 1 is? Yes, it's Daddy. The daddy of hot summers is at number 1. 1976 was the warmest summer Central England temperature. The autumn of 76, well, the drought breaks over the Bank Holiday weekend at the end of August. And the autumn of 1976 was exceptionally, and I mean exceptionally, wet. And so it's like a 2-year drought, but by the end of the autumn of 76, we've basically made up the rainfall deficit. So, putting all of that together, then this all Septembers combined are looking, following the top 10 warmest summers, very unsettled signal for the Septembers with below average heights through the northwest of Europe, generally a very wet scene in the Septembers. The Octobers, very different, turning much drier then. In the Octobers, with winds switching to more of a southerly direction. And then all Novembers combined, well, we've got a bit of Scandinavian high type influence then, with high pressure up towards Scandinavia. Now that could be a drier but colder sort of scenario for the Novembers maybe. And all autumns combined, despite the very wet looking scenario for September, actually it's a relatively anticyclonic signal for the autumns overall. That's due to October and November overshadowing September to some degree. No, generally mild but also pretty dry signal for the autumns. Right, okay, well that's the first set of analogues. Got one more set to show you. This is going to be looking at dry conditions. So we're going to be looking at the top 10 driest spring and summer combinations. So let's go way back to March here for England weather precipitation. Yes, we saw a very dry March with only 26% of average rainfall. Not quite as dry for April, but still dry on average, 59% of average rainfall there. And May was also pretty dry, 52% of average rainfall. It was an exceptionally dry spring, as I'm sure you'll remember, and this brings us back really to the start of our autumn updates, where we're looking at spring to autumn data. Well, June had 78% of average rainfall, so that was another dry month. July was also a little bit drier than average at 88% of average rainfall. And, well, August has been very, very exceptionally dry, very, very dry, exceptionally dry so far, with only 11% of average rainfall. However, it looks like the last week of the month might make a little bit up on that, and so that's why this update has proved to be quite problematical. However, it is going to be a significantly drier than average summer, following on for an exceptionally dry spring. So for our final set of analysis, we're going to be looking at the top 10 driest spring and summer combos. Let's do this then. We're starting off at number 10. With 1955 again, high pressure is out to our west, and we bring the wind in, bit of a north, so a drier signal there for the autumn, but also a little bit cooler. At number 9, we've got 2011, so this one has higher pressure to our east, low pressures out to the west. That's a warm autumn in 2011, and quite a lot of dry weather in there as well. At number 8, 2003, is back again. High pressure out to our west. So as a dry and warm September till the last week, the last days, and then a cooler, drier October followed by a mixed November. Number 7, rather surprising to see this one showing up. It's 1996, but yes, we did have a very dry but cold spring in 1996, and so the summer was reasonably dry as well. High pressure out to our west in this autumn, low pressure to the east brings the wind in from more of a north-northeast direction. By the way, tomorrow's historic weather video will be looking at the winter, well, the autumn and the winter of 1996, 1997. So make sure you check that one out. Quite interesting autumn now. At number 6, we got 1984. Bit of a surprise to see that one turning up too. So, very unsettled autumn, really wet September. The rest of the autumn unsettled, but very mild as well. Number 5, we've got 2022. We spoke about that before. We break the hot summer at the beginning of September with some tremendous thunderstorms, and then it turns more unsettled, but is relatively mild. Number 4, we've got 1990. So, this was perhaps a bit cold. It has a near normal CT for September and a bit mixed. October's quite mild, and November has a few cold snaps. Overall, we bring the wind in from more of a north or a northeasterly direction. Oh, we think we're going to be at number 3 for the top 10 driest spring and summer combinations. So we've got questions to answer, of course, for the autumn of 2025. And we'll be attempting to answer those questions for you next Sunday with our autumn forecast. Watch this space, everyone. At number 2, we've got 1995. Yes, exceptionally dry spring and summer in 1995. We've already spoken about that. Particular autumn has a wet September, but a really dry and warm October. I wonder how many of these will follow on into our winter updates, by the way. Don't forget, winter updates at GavsWeatherVids will be beginning on Sunday, the 7th of September. It'll be interesting how many of these years are following on into the winter updates when we do summer to winter data. Our lovely friend Ben Enty, lovely Ben, was messaging about and tweeted and, talking about false autumns. So years that have a lot of drought stress at the end of summer. And, could that be a signal for a cold winter? Or a cold December anyway? I wonder. But anyway, off on a tangent. Hello, Ben. I know you'll be watching. Hello, my friend. We love Ben. Ben's awesome. We love the amazing Ben Enty. Thank you so much, my friend. Oh, right. Let's go on to number 1. Well, guess what it was? It's 1976. Yes, exceptionally dry spring and exceptionally dry summer yields the autumn in 76, yields the autumn of 1976. We spoke about that before as well. We make up 2 years worth of rain pretty much through one season during that autumn. Exceptionally wet autumn in 76, a real drought buster. Okay, let's put all of that together then for the last time. This is how all Septembers combined are looking, following the top 10 dry spring and summer combos. A wet and cool signal from September as low pressure over and to the east country, high pressure out to the west, and down comes those northwesterly winds. Bear in mind there will be exceptions to this. So, for example, we've got 2003, which generally dry and warm in September. 2011 was a very warm September as well. So there will be exceptions to the rule, obviously. And then all October's combined, different to the first set of analogues, also looking quite unsettled. Low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic, so a relatively unsettled signal for the Octobers. A drier signal, though, for the Novembers, interestingly, with high pressure again, similar to the first sets, tending to be more focused on Scandinavia there. And finally, all autumns combined looking like that. So it is an unsettled signal. That's mainly down to September, also to October, some degree as well. So an unsettled signal for those autumns with low pressure in from off the Atlantic. We'll see. Okay, we're done. That's it for our autumn updates, except for next Saturday's seasonal model roundup. So let's all give ourselves a round of applause for sticking with it. I wasn't sure whether we would carry on with the autumn updates when I started, because we began, I'm sure you remember, these updates on a Wednesday, recently on a Wednesday, and well, basically nobody's interested in watching them on Wednesdays. So we soon got rid of that idea and brought them back to Sunday releases, and the views have been a lot better generally releasing them on a Sunday. So thank you so much, everyone, for sticking with this season of autumn updates. As I said, we're more or less at the end now, just got a season 1 roundup to do next Saturday, and then the big one, the reveal. Guys can reveal all next Sunday. Don't want to miss that. Maybe you do. The autumn 2025 forecast will be released next Sunday at GavsWeatherVids at 10 a.m. and I'll look forward to releasing the forecast then. And then, of course, we're on to winter updates. But we won't get ahead of ourselves. Thank you so much to Richard Shaw for our amazing autumn updates gift, and for just being generally incredible throughout the season of updates. Thanks very much to Shrine Bruin as well for getting all of the years together, not just on this update, but through on all of the updates. Thanks to Terry Scully. Also, I'll hand out the thanks, to hashtag Team Gav when we release the autumn forecast. We've got a Take the Ball Team Day coming up for you shortly, so check that out. For this one, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.